Now, I am hoping, everybody, that we are going to have a better experience now. I downloaded brand new XSplitter. 5 minutes before I hopped in the Hangout with Tiger, I put all new XSplitter on my computer, completely wiped out the old one, rebuilt the shots, set everything up new. So I have high hopes of everything being 100% tonight. And
Hello,
with that,
everyone.
Here we go.
Oh.
No, I'm just shitting you.
I'm looking at the feed waiting for it to die. It's like, does he mean it? Does he mean it?
I cheated. I'm hooked up on dual connection tonight. I have my computer pulling off the landline and off my cell phone at the same time.
Oh, well. Nothing like having backup. So how's everybody tonight? Welcome. Man, I can't believe how fast this week went. It feels like we just did this.
No, it seems like it was a month since we've done this.
You had a long week.
I have one thing to ask of a viewer. I need to know from KP if it's okay if I show off my mail.
Say yes.
If I show off the mail you sent.
Show off your what?
I got the coolest package ever, and I shit my pants when I opened it. I'll say that straight out. I did a double take. What the fuck? KP and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago that he was going to send me a couple of things for me to play with, because he figured I needed to play with them. In my mind, it went in one ear, out the other, poof, right over my head. So I get a package this week from the framing guys. I open it up, all excited because the Poldiak's here. And I open it up, and there's a Faggotti hybrid in the package. Well,
beautiful.
After I got done shitting my pants, I got on Skype. Okay, what the fuck? And basically got laughed at because my memory sucks. And very quickly got informed. We talked about this, bud. I'm sending you the Faggotti for you to play with, so you know what it is and what's going on with it, and so you've got something to talk about on it. That is probably the biggest. I don't even know what to say. That somebody could go out of their way. It was Memories of the Hanamod. That's exactly what it was, buddy. But somebody could go out of their way and send me something to play with that's as precious as a Faggotti hybrid, a total unicorn, just blew me away. And so it's being treated better than anything I've ever owned before. And it'll be getting shipped back, in enough packaging that everybody that thought I overpackaged before has seen nothing yet. Fuck no, it hasn't left my desk. It even has its own special place on the desk, in beside plastic cabinets where nothing else can bump it.
Domino protection.
He is asking that because I got the Hanamod from KP, and I didn't know what was going on. It didn't make any sense, but I threw a battery in it, put a tank on it, and took it to work. Ends up, it wasn't my Hanamod. It belonged to Zippy. But yeah, performs pretty good. I gotta say that that modified air chamber is definitely worth the buzz about it. It behaves much differently than any other Jenny I've used. No, there'll be no abuse, just a lot of use. We're trying to train it well. We're feeding it a fresh 18650 AW on a daily basis, and running her till the AW ain't worth shit no more. But we will put this back in its safe little corner here. So how's everybody been this week?
Oh, Rich, you missed it. I did that quietly while Corey was talking about the Fagati. Here's one for you.
And so we got another member into the Poldiak family this week. Garth joined us. Curly joined us in the Poldiak Club this week.
Nice. I saw some of the chat. Enjoying that, I imagine.
And when, and a couple hours after he opened it, when I messaged him to ask how it's doing, or how he's doing with it, I got told to shut the fuck up and quit talking to him because he had to put it down to answer.
Oh, sorry to hear it, Downpour. That's the one drawback. The glass is so nice and impervious to the juices that etch, but yeah, you gotta be careful.
But they're, at least mine so far has been tougher than expected. My Pro Tank has bounced twice while hooked to my Pravari off the concrete.
Wow.
And it was absolutely, the first time I was scared shitless because it bounced, it landed drip tip first on the concrete and then rolled underneath my desk at work. And so I got down, dug it out. It landed hard enough that it actually knocked the circuit board loose inside the Pravari and didn't damage the Pro Tank. So one little dab of epoxy inside and the Pravari is back to 100% again. You can't kill a Pravari. You can slow it down, but you can't kill it.
You knock the display off kilter, but...
Then last week, it took another bounce off my desk. And still no broken tank. There's a reason why I won't take fancy stuff to work anymore, but it seems that the only thing I drop is the Pravari, and the Pravari always has a Pro Tank on it. Always. I don't try to prove how tough the damn thing is. It just seems to want to prove itself. It has like little mod syndrome or something.
Hey Cody, how are you tonight?
Though I will have to admit that I have been carrying two Poldiaks to work with me for the last couple days. Because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to vape, so I just took them both.
Yeah, you didn't want to play favorite. Hey Joe.
Well, what'll actually be a problem is when I finish the Poldiak collection, because I want 2 more full size in the same color patterns as these, but they can be set up bottom buttons. And then I want one set up in 18350 mode. And then I'm done with Poldiaks.
Oh.
You know, I will call it happy with 5. Then that'll be a first world vaping problem, because I will not be able to decide which one to pick up. Now it's pretty simple. You know, here's the newest Poldiak. It was a solid stainless steel one, but I put my brass shirt and pants on it. So it's two-toned, brass and stainless, and I keep a dripper on it. Here's the first Poldiak. It was a solid brass, but I put stainless pants and shirts on it, and I run a K-Fun on it. So if I got time to drip, this is the one I use. If I can't be bothered to drip, I got the K-Fun. And so right now it's pretty simple to decide which one. I'm not in the car, so the K-Fun can sit there and collect dust. I'll drip.
Well, I got some vape mail this week too. Mine is the cheapy end of the spectrum, but I told Corey, I shouldn't admit this, but I will. You guys can have a laugh at my expense too. I got the M16 in, and it's another very similar really to the Sentinel, but another clone. And I had never locked the button. I'd been using it for a couple days, just sitting on the desk, and then this morning I went to lock the button so I could set it in the mod stand. And I could not crack that thing loose. I tried and tried, and the switch wanted to come off. Finally, I thought, okay, fine. So I took the whole switch off and, got my hands out there, tried to turn it, nothing doing. So I head for the kitchen for one of those rubber mats you can open jars with. That didn't help. Finally, I grabbed the ring with that, and I grabbed the brass threads with my other hand, and I turned so hard I cut my finger all up and still couldn't crack that thing loose. Went and got a spanner wrench because it's got, just like the Sentinel, those facets to grab onto. So sure enough, get that on there, and it wouldn't do it either. I didn't want to force too hard, and finally I'm wiggling the wrench loose off it, and it cracks loose, and I got, you gotta be kidding me, what? Reverse threading. Just because the Sentinel threads the way we're all accustomed to doesn't mean the M16 has to as well. So the Sentinel, righty-tighty. The M16, reverse threading. And I have the cuts in my fingers to prove it.
The Astro came in today. And I had the same problem that Tiger did. I could not lock the switch for the life of me. It was just seized solid. So I disassembled the switch. I took the center pin out of it, took the plunger off, took the spring out, because I have done the exact same thing that you're talking about having done. So I wanted to have a good look at it, look it over. Okay, no, it is standard threading. And you think, well, first off, I got big fingers, and this is a pretty little switch, so I couldn't get a good grip on it. So I wrapped the threads in a cotton rag, so I could get a good squeeze on it and kind of pinch the whole thing together. And then got a pair of needle nose pliers to grab on the knurling of the lock and very, very gently break it free. And so up until the point it broke free, I was kind of disappointed in my new-to-me mod. Once it broke free and I could put it down, I was very happy with it. Very, very nice for a new-to-me mod. I've bought 3 of them now from the same lady. From people know her off of Facebook Anime from BC, but this is the 3rd mod I bought from her, and the lady takes very good care of her stuff. I wouldn't be scared to buy another one from her. 3 of them, and each one of the 3 has been in better shape than described.
Yeah, I saw your message, Cody. That's really exciting. You sounds like you're going to be a busy guy.
Good evening, Rick. Well, there have been all kinds of good vape mail this week.
Nice. Oh, the grain in that is pretty. That's the olive wood, right?
Yeah, this is olive wood. So I didn't have anything that lined up with it. So I figured, well, if I don't have anything that lines up, I might as well go with something that looks good if it isn't lined up. So I put the steam turbine on here because of all the angles to it. And I need a better drip tip on it. And so I will attack my cabinet full of drip tips and find a really nice one for it. But once again, Switcher outdid himself. These things are beautiful, and they vape like a beast. Like, they really do hit extremely well.
Well, Cody, you can't have that one, but you can have one of your own. I put a link in the room where you can find a custom-made Switcher Woody at JR Custom Turning.
They are going to be available at CEV store as well.
No,
they are going to be available over the. I don't know if they're going on the site or not, but they are going to be going at least in store. I expect, knowing Sabby, they're going to be available to everyone. But CEV is going to have the Woody.
Nice.
So, you know, Sailors Coast to Coast. The Sailors mod is now coast to coast, and they're on their way.
On-site, Savvy says, so that's available to everyone. Great. And for the Americans joining us in the room, yes, Savvy at CEV store ships to America. You are in luck. I'll share that link as well.
So, Kingpin asked me a question the other day. And the answer I had for him, I don't know if it was what was expected, but it was honest. I got asked to take a family picture. And to any non-vapor, that would actually mean members of your family. To a vapor, the family picture does not have anything human in it. And so I started looking over the collection. Well, the Mortar V5 isn't here yet. It's in Arkansas. And, you know, this isn't here yet. Now, there's a Chi-Yu missing yet. And, you know, there's, you know, I'm on the list for this, and I would really love to have it. If I'm going to go through the trouble of saying at the shop, you know, I was able to get on the list and pay for a cartel mod this week. So I would really like to have it. I got 2 DNA 20s in the works. I would love to be able to have them. You know, there's another custom that's in discussions with Switcher that's just totally off the wall wild. Like shit your pants 12-volt mechanical wild. And so, you know, I'd like to have the family actually complete before the picture gets taken. But in saying that, and I know Kingpin knows exactly what I'm saying, as a collector, when is the family complete?
And just as with human families, it's hard to have them all at one place at one time.
Well, they don't play nice
There's
together.
always somebody in transit.
Well, and then comes the other problem. What do you include in the family picture? You know, do you put in all the high-end and custom stuff and leave out the red-headed stepchilds, you know, all the clones? or do you know, do you do the picture of 90 plus Yeah, I hear you, Garth. I am out of egos. That's the other good news. I do not currently own an ego.
Oh.
I gave away my last ego, my EVOD, and my last mini ego today. A lady had put a post up on our local garage sale Facebook group that her and her husband had quit smoking by vaping, and they each had one battery, and one of the batteries gave out, and if there was anybody that could help them out. So I messaged her, gave her my cell phone number, and, you know, just get a hold of me, whatever you need, I'll take care of you. And so the lady called, and they're just fresh converts. They've got their first set of e-cigs on the 1st of the month, August 1st. They both threw away their cigarettes and started vaping from that day on. So needless to say, by the time they left my house, they left with 3 egos, about 7 Clearos, 6 30ml bottles of juice, business cards and drip tips, and
I was saying, man, to quit smoking like that and start vaping and live really close to Corey, that's like winning the vaping lottery.
Well, the thing is,
you're doing it right.
They drove 45 miles to come meet me, but they only live 11 miles from my mom and dad's farmyard. I've never met them before, but they live 11 miles from my mom and dad's farmyard, and they're, you know, in their mid to later 60s, so excited, just on fire excited, and the lady was telling me that, you know, over 40 years of 2 packs a day, and in one day she threw away her cigarettes, started vaping, and has not craved a cigarette since.
That's awesome.
I don't know, I got a lot of gear, but Kingpin has really high-end, classy, customized gear. I'm indecisive, so I just buy everything. And the thing is, like, for the average person, I could do far more than I did with these people. They vape 24 milligram, and I didn't have a whole lot of warning of when they were going to be here, so I just quickly started mixing juice, because I don't have anything in the house other than China juice that's 24 milligram.
That's great, Cody. I'm glad it's working so well for you. Welcome to the room, Don.
But no, it's been a long week. Take care, Rich.
Take care, Rich. Have fun.
It's been a long week, but it's been a great Friday.
Well, take the next couple of days off, Corey. You've earned it.
Can't. I gotta fix my truck tomorrow.
Oh. Well, there's no shame in using an ego downpour. There, you know, that's a way step up from what a lot of people end up starting with because they're not plugged into the community and don't know better. Like, you know,
there's nothing wrong
even
with ego.
Exactly. Even a gas station disposable is a decent device if it's doing the trick. You just got to find the vape that's right for you, and if it's keeping you off the cigarettes, you're doing it right.
Give me a sec here. I know there's something up here. There we go. I'll join the beginners for a minute here.
Oh, what have we got there?
This is one of those Vapor cigarettes. It's zero nic, but yet the juice is tasty. Like, I could definitely see how this would actually work as long as it had nic in it. Like, without the nic, it's missing something. But there is a market for this. You know, a pre-filled, ready to roll. You pop the cap and go. And I've been playing with these off and on since I was at the coast, and they're still running. They're still good flavor. You know, haven't charged it or nothing. No, of course, because there's no nic. It's not like I've used it a pile at any one time, but it's a lot better than expected. I was expecting that it was going to be a novelty item, and, you know, but it's kind of nice. Like, now I want to get a good one. You know, a really good quality, be it, you know, the Joy kit, or just to go back and buy a good 510 kit again. But there's just, after all the big mods, there's something nice about just having that back in your fingers. It feels right. I know it shouldn't feel right, but it does.
I hear you. That's what I thought when I was sort of sampling that Apollo one they sent me. It was comfortably familiar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get something along these lines. You know, you're not going to win any fog competitions with it, and no matter what juice you have in it, you're not going to get a pile of throat hit, but do something like that loaded with 24 milligram, it could at least still be enjoyable. And let's face it, there are places where this is going to be a lot more accepted than this. Actually, everywhere other than a vape meet, this is going to be more accepted.
Well, this is it. Like, we've got some pretty cool devices coming out, and, you know, a bunch of us, you know, most of the people in the room probably have some pretty fancy stuff, you know, regardless of price. Like, it certainly doesn't look like a cigarette to a non-vapor. And the thing is, sometimes I wonder if we alienate new possible converts, because it's like, what the heck is that? I have to carry that, and it's huge. And, you know, something like what you're using now is a pretty easy transition.
And, you know, they are an acceptable vape. You know, the juice is a fail. As far as I'm concerned, I am not at the place for zero nic yet. I can still sit here because I've been, you know, I've been dripping a 0.4 ohm coil for the last, 8 hours today. So it's not like I need the nic right now. So I can sit here and just enjoy this and know I'm not going to give myself a headache, and I can keep doing what I love to do, and that's vape. But I don't know if I can handle this lack of power and no nic, say, first thing in the morning. You know, first thing in the morning, I grab a Jenny, specifically a Cobra or a Turbine, that is built low-res, dual-coil on hard-hitting mechanicals with 12 milligram juice in them, and I hit them hard. And then I'm ready for my day. The earlier I wake up, the harder I have to hit one of those mods. So first thing in the morning, yeah, I don't think this would satisfy when I was having my first cup of coffee.
Yeah. No, same here. First thing I reach for something a little heavier hitting.
And I do have to put a disclaimer out there. When I say first thing in the morning, I do mean 2 in the afternoon.
That's your morning.
It is. 2 in the afternoon for me is 6 in the morning to everybody else. Like,
welcome NZ Vaper and Vaper 61 and Bastard.
And for any that don't know me, it's not that I'm lazy that I'm getting up at 2 in the afternoon. I have worked straight nights for 10 years. So it's just the way it is. Though I do work straight nights because I'm lazy and I hate getting up in the morning. Yep. Less people in the shop. It's not as hot. Don't have to wake up in the morning. It's all win-win. Oh, and you get paid more. At least at what I do, you get paid more to work the second shift. So I don't have to wake up in the morning. I get paid more to do it. And my boss isn't on the same shift. Like, it's win-win-win. Shift premiums for a permanent shift are awesome. Just saying. So my huge order of all the clones for testing will be here Tuesday morning. I now do not like long weekends because it's sitting in Saskatoon. It should be delivered Monday morning, but it won't be. I won't see it till Tuesday, and that shit kind of pisses me off.
Aww.
And it's an incomplete. The brass Chi-Yu clone isn't in it. And they're saying it's going to be at least another 7 days till they're restocked. That's what Blake found out today. So it is what it is. The stainless one's here, and that's the one I'm sending out to you.
Yay.
And the V1s, the private V1, and whatever else. Everything they had that one day. I bought one of everything. It was... It did get released, buddy. I wonder how beat up that shit is now. I don't know how nervous I'd be opening that package when it arrived. KP has a package of tanks and devices and so on and so forth that were sent down to Vape and Shine. On the way back up, Customs held them for 5 days. So... They've just been custom detailed, polished, the whole 9 yards. What if Customs just roughly threw them back in the box and shipped them? And we've all had Customs do bad things.
Mhm. Oh yeah, if they did what they did with my Poldiac, I'd have a coronary. Well, Zippy, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to open the package, check it out, but it would be, what they did with my Poldiac would be akin to unpacking a crystal vase out of peanuts and stuff like that, and then just throwing the box, the peanuts, and the vase back in a big garbage bag and sending it on its way. Like, you can't do that. And there's got to be some kind of recourse that, certainly... If they feel entitled to open it, they better feel entitled to put it back in proper order before they send it on.
Well, the thing is, you're paying for them to do it. At least I always have. You know, if I get something opened by customs, I get billed for them fucking opening it. The last package that got opened cost me $20. There was a $19.86 service fee on them fucking opening my package, and then I got dinged GST and PST, and they didn't repackage it properly.
I have never seen that. I have never received a bill from customs for opening something.
That was 3 in 1 month. I got dinged 3 times in 1 month. 2 were vaping stuff. 1 was a couple of hunting knives that I'd ordered up to add to that collection, because I collect hunting knives and butchering knives. I have since I was 5 years old. But I got dinged hard on the knives because 1 was a Damascus steel blade, and they said it was worth far more than was declared. What was declared is what I paid for it. It was bought on an auction. I bought it on eBay. So, you know, just because the guy didn't list it properly and it didn't get a whole pile of attention, you know, what was declared at is what I paid. Yes, it was undervalued severely, but thus is eBay. That's why we love eBay. You know, it lets the poor, you know, the poorer faction play with the big boys. Because yeah, I couldn't afford half of what's in my collections of non-vape gear without eBay. But then, you know, you have the other side of sellers too. I bought a Paul Shen Wakayashi companion sword 2 years ago. Now this is a combat ready short samurai sword. And Paul Shen is a well-known name, not super high-end, but you know, it's $1,000 sword. It got shipped across the border as a costume prop.
Oh, that's a mighty convincing prop.
I never asked for any special treatment. You know, I fully expected to be getting ding tax and duty on it, but I had to have it. I had to. I'd been trying for like 3 years to get a Shen blade for something I could afford, and this one came along and I could afford it, and so I bought it. But for the most part, we bitch about customs, we bitch about duty, we bitch about taxes. How many times have you had a package stopped at customs and been hit with duty, or extra tax, or just stopped at customs in general?
Stopped and opened a fair number of times. I have never been hit with duty or the fees you guys are talking about for customs. So
I have had,
and even the Poldiak that they totally manhandled and didn't repackage properly somehow showed up without a scratch. So I'm lucky.
Oh, Amy's not going to be happy when I talk to her in the morning. She interviewed and hired a guy today. Never met him before, but a guy I work with, a really close buddy, just sent me a Skype message. So Amy is training my brother on Tuesday. Prepare her. My brother is nearly impossible to deal with. Fuck.
Oh, no. There's something to look forward to. You should wait until Sunday night to tell her. Don't ruin the whole weekend.
But I've had mod stopped and opened. I've had juice stopped, I've had flavoring stopped and opened, and then hit duty. I've had mod stopped, opened, been hit with duty, tax, and the inspection fees. The hardest hit I've ever had was on a set of, butcher shop grade butchering knives. My set was wearing out, and that's the thing. Like, you buy a quality set of kitchen knives, they last you a lifetime. A set of butchering knives, we only get about 3 years out of it, and we cut all our own meat. We are Hicks. It's just the way we roll out here in the sticks. And so we cut our own pork and we cut our own beef, and we wear out the knives. And I had a nice set, and it wasn't expensive. It was about $250 for the set of butcher shop knives. Get opened, and all taken out of their packaging. So they showed up, the edges beat to fuck, the raw blades beating on each other in the package. It took hours to re-edge. These knives are supposed to show up razor sharp, and $75 duty because they're misdeclared. It was declared as a butcher's set. They figured it should have been declared as 7 knives. Well, it was a butcher's set.
My goodness.
But in all of that, in the last 5 years, those are the troubles I've had. In the last 5 years, I have had over 1,000 packages from international, because I'm an eBayer at heart. I love buying online. I buy from all over the world. Even without vaping, there's at least 3 parcels a week that are showing up at our place. Usually a lot more than that. Christmas shopping is done online. Birthday shopping is done online. Yes, Tiger is Canadian. And so the average is I might be running at about 5% of my packages get monkeyed with. Maybe even less than 5%. Yeah, I'm Canadian as well.
Yep, VapeStrong is a Canadian network. But everyone's welcome.
Yep. So we complain lots about the border, and we're scared of the border. But other than unfortunate circumstance, a bad customs agent on a bad day just throwing our shit back in a box, really, when you think about it, we all get off pretty bloody easy and have it much, much better than many people in different nations do for getting stuff in.
Had a girl puffer.
It's been a long time since I've got a dime at a store. But it's been a long time since I've used cash at a store, too. And,
I'm just waiting for PayPal to become really, to really catch on. Then I'll probably never have cash.
Well, and see, there's the kicker. I like I said, I live in the sticks. The checkbook still reigns supreme out here. I can use plastic, that's not a problem. But the businesses prefer a check, and I'm very good with writing a check. It's easy. I write the dollar figure in, I sign the bottom, I hand them the rest, the check, they fill in the rest. Done. So this morning, Amy is getting ready for work, and she's in the bathroom doing her makeup, and I'm sitting on the edge of the tub talking with her, and something took over, that little part of your brain that tells you this is a really bad idea, don't do this. It must have been in Nick coma, because it totally didn't click in. And I'm vaping on the Poldiac, I'm vaping Vader Puddin', and so I give it like 30 drops in the atomizer, and take like a 25-second lung inhale. You know, till the lungs hurt. They've absorbed so much. And I stand up, and I'm kind of, behind her and on a slight angle, and I blew it at that cloud over her shoulder and at the mirror. Well, it's fogged out. It just fogged out the entire half of the bathroom. And she's coughing and spitting and swinging. Oh, man. And so I went to the other side and did it again. But you've seen the videos on Facebook where there's that pillar of vapor. That's what I had going on, and the humidity's high. The shower had been running, so it was perfect conditions. Absolutely perfect conditions.
Awesome.
And no fucking camera. I'll take a beating on camera if the video's good.
Yeah, you gotta have your phone on you and video that stuff for us. Welcome to the room, Granny Vapor. Well, you see, she's in the middle of doing her makeup when you do that. You got to be quick on those things. You missed an opportunity there. You won't take beats. Maybe if you come back with, well, you're pretty enough. I figured you were done.
Well, when she was done doing her makeup, I needed the sink to wash the makeup off of me, because she turned around and got me with the brush and the powder right across the fucking face. It's a good thing I blink faster, else I would have got it in the eye. There's things I guess you don't do. You don't fuck with your wife when she's doing her makeup. But, and here's the but, it is best to fuck with the wife when she's got things in her hands that she is unwilling to throw.
That's a good one. What, the Vapor Joe multipass accepted at all fine vape establishments?
Oh, that was weird. A half-ass burp / hiccup in the middle of a lung inhale.
I hate when you get the hiccup in the middle of a draw, because then you always end up with the vape burp.
And I never thought hiccups really hurt until I got niccups for the first time. And they just suck. Because, you're taking a pull and you're halfway into it and hiccup. And, you lose the whole damn thing. Start over. Mm-hmm. Put your grip tip back in your yap, hit the button, carry on. Halfway to a decent drag, there's another hiccup. It's one of those, what the fuck? I'll feel so much better. You know, I can hiccup away. That's fine. Just let me get my nick fix, and we'll call it good. Well, I prefer living at my 6 to 8 milligram and no more nick ups, no more nick headaches, no more hot flashes. You know, finding your proper place for your nick level is absolutely critical for enjoyment of this hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fresh battery, so much better.
Worse than running out of toilet paper. Yeah, that would be bad.
All in good time, Zip. We still want to do an Edmonton trip sometime soon.
Cookie Monster.
Well, and see, the cookie has turned out to be such a win that I don't ever leave well enough alone. You know, and so I've done a pastry cookie now that is in first steps of testing, but I think it's a win. We'll see how the steep comes in. And then following it, and this one has failed twice already, but you know, each failure isn't really a failure. It's just a step in the R&D process. But we're doing a chocolate chip cookie because I don't think it's ever been done right before. Now, I've definitely figured out cookie base and know how to pull off the flavor for the cookie base. Now is to get the right blending of chocolate in it. And then I have marching orders from the better half. And the better half is demanding a white chocolate chip macadamia nut cookie vape.
My son likes those cookies. I'm not sure who currently has the best price on the Tesla. Are you in Canada or the United States or somewhere else? US?
Well, and see, I like the idea of white chocolate because the flavoring for white chocolate is so much better than the dark chocolates. Like, just the flavoring in general for white chocolate is far more accurate than the milk or dark chocolate flavorings are. So you can do more with it. And we are looking at probably a 9-ingredient juice to be able to pull it off. I don't think I've ever had white chocolate and peach together, Pixie.
That sounds interesting.
But you know, with the saying non-savory, I'm beginning to wonder if the direction I've went with the cakes and cookies isn't into that savory level of a vape. because there's a real doughiness to those vapes. Like it's not a traditional flavor in any way, shape, or form. Don't expect a roast beef from me anytime soon. If you want roast beef from me, you got to drive here and we'll have roast beef supper. Ooh, hot tub. We're not going there. Oh, I can show it again for you, Hayes.
All right. Well, I found something for you. F smoking. Try this link for the Tesla. As long as you don't mind black, you'll get a really good deal. They've got them for $55. Hayes, that sounds so dirty.
And I am slipping because I never even went to the dirty place. I didn't. I looked up, I saw Hayes' name, I saw the comment, I knew exactly what she wanted to see. I adjusted the button, Hayes. I didn't like it so far up inside because I got great big fingers and it caused me a little bit of problem. But the button is smooth. It works well. I just had to shorten it just a touch. And now it's 100%. It was 100% before. Just my fingers were too fucking fat to fit in there properly. Oh, Downpour, we have more than one in this crowd.
I was just going to say, one in every crowd and several here. A majority.
We're a special bunch. But no, I'm very happy with the wood mod from JR Custom. Really nice machine work, as always. Switcher always does great machine work. The threading is excellent. The connector is excellent. The adjustable pin is very good. The woodwork is phenomenal. And the way that he picks the blanks to turn to get great grain into the mod is wonderful.
Oh, Granny's one of us. Well, excuse me just a moment. I have all the windows and doors open, and when it cooled off here, it cooled off fast. So my toes are turning into popsicles. I will be right back.
Not yet, Zip. Though that would be excellent if he would. I really like my 26-700s. It's an aluminum core, brass end caps, brass switch, brass connector. It carries current extremely well. If there is, I don't know where that list would be. Besides Zip, you really do need one of these, Because did you see how dead sexy this turbine looks on here? You know, it's like the turbine was built for this thing. You know, sometimes you put a tank or an addy on a device and you just know they were meant to be together. This one was meant to be together. Now I just need to... Oh, I figured it out. See if this fits. Done deal. I just need to find a better drip tip for it. Then I remembered I had one of my 24 karat gold drip tips out. So that is a much better match on there now. The aesthetics have to be right. It don't matter how good the juice is. You know, at this stage of the game, good juice isn't enough. A good device isn't enough. It's going to take a combination. To be a home run, it's going to take a good build, a good tank, a great mod, a high-power battery, and the aesthetics. It has to be gorgeous. Oh, Sabby, I love drip tips. And just about anything coming from the Philippines right now is dead sexy. I like stuff that's unique and not all the way out there. The bunny went in the fucking garbage. The bunny has left the building.
Not that I'm aware of. Smoking, I think you, just like you said, you discover as you go.
And so as we're doing this show, like there's exciting changes, at least in my little vape world. The closest city to me is Saskatoon. It's a little bit less than 1 hour away. As we are doing this show, my buddy Mitch is setting up the very first brick and mortar in Saskatoon. He got the keys this morning to his rented store, and as we are sitting here hanging out, he is in there working his ass off, getting set up and getting ready to roll. And you know, that's pretty cool because it's a big step. And it was about time that Saskatoon got with it. Saskatoon's the biggest city in Saskatchewan. Regina has had a brick and mortar for quite a while now already. Prince Albert has had one for about 5 or 6 months now. And Saskatoon, like, there's probably room, I guess there's room for 3 good brick and mortars in Saskatoon. That would be my take on the layout of the city and the size of the city. And, you know, let's face it, like right now, Saskatchewan is booming. We're seeing a population explosion. The wages are going up exponentially as there's a shortage of employees, and there's just far more available capital than there ever has been before. And it's time for them to get going. Yeah, housing is just bloody retarded. And quite honestly, it's worse where we are than it is in the city, because we got 2 new potash mines opening up. One new potash mine opening up, and another potash mine that's local dropping a second shaft. We're looking at about 4,000 permanent jobs being added into a rural area, and about 3 times that in temporary work. how like there's no such thing as a house for rent. Um, it-
Hello again, Diana.
welcome.
And welcome to the room, Joey Seminara.
And, you know, after a week of testing, I do have to give the AGT a glowing review. I have been extremely happy with this little tank. I know I was late to the party, lots had it before me, but it's good. For its purchase point, it's better than good. The fit and finish is far better than I expected, and I've been really happy with Yude's work up to this point. But this is the best they've done yet, by far. You know, the grade of titanium seems to be good. The tank functions extremely well, and it's a reduced air chamber. Like, it's a small chamber Jenny. So the vapor is hot. It's hotter than a normal Jenny. The flavor is phenomenal. The vapor production is off the charts for a little tiny device. And that's on just a stupid little tiny wick. Now, you know, what would this be like if I threw it in the mill and drilled out that wick hole to 1/8 inch?
Yeah, I've been impressed with mine too. The only thing I might still do is drill out the air hole a little bigger yet. I know you said you did that right off the bat.
I don't even fuck around anymore. I drill them out before I even vape them. On the cheaper stuff, you know, when I get an expensive one in, I want to play with it before I drill it out, because if I hate it, I'm going to resell it. You know, that's just the way it is. Like, I want to leave my options open, because what if I just hate the way this thing builds, or the way it vapes, or I don't like the way it looks, and you've got $200 or $250 into a tank? You want to be able to keep your options open.
The tank we were discussing, Bastard, is the AGT, the tiny little titanium Jenny by Yude.
Very, very nice tank. Very good Jenny, easy build. It's getting 2 thumbs up, DSV approved, as far as I'm concerned.
And I'm just checking where they're available. Yep, he's still got them. For those of you in Canada interested in the AGT, you can grab one here. And use coupon
I was
code.
going to say...
Yes.
Yep, keep going.
You were going to say...
No, I'll let you finish with the e-cig.
Because
they're available both at e-cig and at CEV right now.
CEV has them as well.
CEV has them as well.
Okay.
2 great vendors.
I was not aware. Let me grab that link. There it is.
I believe they both have the 134s. Yeah, e-cig and CEV, the winning combination. Quite honestly, the West Coast is bloody spoiled. You got AJ out there, and Daniel at Gentleman's Reserve, and you've got Sabby and Jay and Jason. There's a whole plethora of vendors right there.
Yeah, you bet. I'm sorry, Ghost World. I didn't catch that before I posted that link. I was in too much of a hurry. My apologies to you. They are in stock at CEV. And, I mean, if you're at CEV and placing an order and paying shipping anyway, you got to check out the juice. So, you know.
I would recommend Vanilla Cupcake. But
I would.
Sabby may not sell it to you. I think he's hoarding the Vanilla Cupcake. I'm pretty sure that he's got a filing cabinet full of it in his office, and anybody that's coming for it to sell it's getting their fingers slapped.
Now, aren't the 1600 mAh AWs 20 amp, Corey?
Yeah, they're being
Remind
marketed.
me.
They're being marketed as 15 as a security thing, but they have been tested at 20. Andrew Wong, the owner of AW Batteries, has tested them at 20 amps and said they will withstand that. Well, I'm really glad to hear that, Diana. Peanut butter and jam was a juice I made for somebody else, and I'm predictable. The juices I release are the ones that I make that I love. But every once in a while, somebody asks for something, and I don't fall in love with it. You know, Death by Chocolate, I am not a fan of, but people like it. You know, the peanut butter and jam, I have heard great things about, but it's not a flavor I enjoy. It wasn't made for my palate. It was made for Amy's palate. You know, and at the end of the day, there's a theory I live my life by. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah, when I'm experimenting that low zip, I do it on usually my Magnetorch with a Molly cell in it, or I will use the 20mm and put a 26700 Molly cell in there. I like having the mechanical and the 40 amp battery, but I'm going to go below 0.4 of an ohm. But I will say this about the peanut butter and jam. Working out that recipe taught me something that I never knew before, and was able to let me make changes to a few other juices that were coming down the pipeline. And every juice, as a juicer, every juice you produce will teach you a little something more about blending and flavor combinations and what works. And how to pull out a very certain nuance. Well, if we're going to do presents, I need to ask a question first. But first I got to open back up where I was before. So, how many people do we have in the room that are still vaping egos? That don't have a mod yet, are still vaping egos, or on a starter kit? Jedi, put your fucking hand down. Now, are we in agreement that Diana and Bastard are the two in the room that are the newest and with the least amount of gear? Well, Tiger, would you be a dear and put the CEV win address in there, please?
You betcha.
Because I am going to ask that Diana and Bastard both send an email to win@cevstore.com, because CEV is going to hook you up. Vamos, juice, you're gonna be good to go. This is just how this is how we roll, and this is how Sabby taught us to roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as Savvy and I mentioned in the chat, please include your nick level. That's not in the win message, but he'll need that as well.
We're going to need screen name, real name, shipping information, and nicotine level from Diana and Bastard. And, okay, one is going to be stainless and one is gunmetal. So who wants stainless, who wants gunmetal? First one to put her in gets the to choose.
Oh, happy birthday, Diana.
Now, Diana, do you want stainless or gunmetal? Just the way they look.
Stainless steel. Yeah, it's like a stainless steel finish. Gunmetal is a darker metal. I'm trying to...
I don't have anything gunmetal here. Mine actually is gunmetal, but it's got a sticker on it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to show the end that doesn't have the sticker. This is a gunmetal bolt that actually came from CEV that I put some dollar store bling on.
Yeah, gunmetal is dark, and stainless is shiny. Okay, so Diana, please include gunmetal in your email. Bastage, please include stainless steel in your email. Yeah, the dark color is gunmetal. That's just what that finish is called. Under the right light, the color looks like a barrel on an old rifle. It's that dark of a color. And once again, a huge thank you to Savvy.
Yeah. I like that description, Hayes.
In the email, screen name, real name, shipping information, nicotine level. Diana, please include gunmetal colored VAMO. Bastard, please include stainless steel VAMO in your email. Send those to win@cevstore.com, and CEV is going to hook you up. Welcome to the family.
The VAMOs are a great device. Like, there's more expensive and fancier things out there, but these things are workhorses. And you've got the variable wattage, variable voltage. I don't get tired of this
bastard. They're solid. They're nice and heavy. They can be run in either 18650 or 18350 mode. You know, they've got 15 amps of power. They can be switched over to variable voltage. You know, it's everything in a starter package. Variable voltage, variable wattage. You know, low voltage safety. It's got the old checker on it. It's got the battery checker on it.
Oh, to be fair, Downpour, Sabby takes really good care of all of us. The newbies and the oldies.
Now, Sabby, can you throw the instructions that you want run for the coffin mod into my Skype, please? Just so I get it right. Coffin mods from Rick have to be one of the nicest mods going. Just for fit and function and usability. Now, I got mine disassembled right now. I'll pull out the Granddaddy. Now, this one isn't from Rick. This is one of the originals from Slinger. The originator of the Varivolt coffin mod. Now, Rick has taken over all coffin mods. He is the man when it comes to the coffin mods. And so this is one of Rick's right here. Wonderful device. Now, Sabby's pulling something different. Now, we have asked mods to not play for giveaways. So Sabby's throwing a curveball, and this one is for the mods.
Oh my goodness.
So first off, what mods do we have in here?
I see just the 5 of us at the moment.
Is Joe still around?
Joe is in the room. I'm not sure if he's away from keyboard or not. I'll summon him.
Yes, you need to include your nicotine level as well. Because there's no way you're getting a package from CEV without juice in it.
Yeah, it can't be done. And you're in for a treat, Bastard. CEV has one of the most extensive juice selections in Canada and possibly anywhere. So it's a great opportunity to try some new things.
Yep, it's a Vamo. And now, I expect that it is a full kit that Sabby's going to be doing, because he specifically said brand new, no mod vapors. No, it takes batteries. Give me a sec here, I'll pull mine out. Now, with my green screen running, forgive me, half of this mod is going to disappear because I've got a Mod Envy custom wrap on mine.
Oh, well, I've got mine handy here too.
But this is my Vamo, and please forgive me because it's disappearing in the camera because of the green screen. Now, I'll get this set up and running. Oh, excuse me. I'm agreeing with you, Sabby. I think Zip is the only one around. Were the Mod Envy wraps from J-Wraps, or were they from...
These ones, the last ones, oh shoot. Now I'm going Vapor Skins.
Yeah, because I got some from each. I got the camel one from one, and yeah, I'm pretty sure Zippy, by act of attrition, just got himself a Ricardo Mon coffin mod. And so, you know, we've had a mod get something, we've had brand new vapors get something. Now we got to do something for everybody.
Right on.
So this is going to be a juice pack from myself. It'll be 12 milligram. Some of the juice will be 40-60, some of it will be 50-50. And I think we are going to do pudding and caramel sundae and sugar cookie and butterscotch pudding. Let's call this the home run pack. And this is open to everybody. I don't care whether you're Canadian, American, new, old, vendor, vapor, whatever. Oh shit, now it's making me log in. I guess I hadn't typed anything yet. Oops, my bad. I'm amazed. I said sugar cookie and Kingpin is piffing.
He must be well stocked. Yeah, I'd recommend going with the 18650 as well, Diana. It'll last longer, and they're just a more commonly used battery.
Don't worry about doubling up on numbers, guys. If two people have the same number, we settle that with random number generator. Just play whatever number you want to between 1 and 50, and we will sort the mess out.
And Diana, if you do need a charger and batteries, Sabby and his staff will be able to advise you very well and fix you up with what you need. So maybe just mention that in the email and it can all go out at once. Excellent.
You know, I think I need to make like an asparagus juice. Or Brussels sprouts. I gotta quit making this shit tasty because my consumption has gone way out of whack. I wouldn't know, Zip. I don't eat asparagus. This body wasn't built around green shit. I just tell you that.
But you also love tofu haze. Okay, to be fair, I don't mind Brussels sprouts in the slightest.
Ugh.
Not sure I want to vape them.
Ugh, I clicked the fucking generate on the broadcast screen again. Fucking retard. Number 4. Lucky number 4.
I've done it. Alright, let's go back to the beginning and see what we got. Alright, well, it looks like... Let me see here. Do I have anything close there? Looks like it's going to be possibly a 4-way tie here. I've got Aspectus with a 2, Vapor Joe with a 2, I've got Granny Vapor with a 6. Oh, I thought I had another 6. I do, Ricardamon with a 6. So you're all equidistant from 4. Ricardamon, Vapor Joe's, Aspectus, and Granny Vapor.
Well, you know how this
so we're
shit
gonna
works. We don't do no damn fucking tiebreaker.
Are you taking a page from Savvy?
Yep. So,
Right.
if you could please write those names down, because I can't remember that. But I need those 4 people to email.
I'm gonna send the win message just to one person so I don't flood the channel. There's your instructions. That's for all 4 of you, but it says it's to Granny Vapor. And yeah, I'll make a note of the winners as well.
So if those 4 winners could please email me at darksidevaper@gmail.com. I need your screen name, real name, shipping information, and that you want a DSV juice pack. Now, really, I don't need Joe's and I don't need Rick's. They're both in my Rolodex of addresses. But I definitely need Granny's and Aspectus. Yeah, 4 winners on a number 4. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, and Joe, are you 18 or 12 now? Because I was going to say I'll just look after that too. I know you're 18, but you were talking about lowering to 12.
And now I don't have all the details ironed out yet to know exactly what is all in store. But I can tell you this: starting next week on Friday nights, there is going to be a shit ton of juice coming up from Maple Leaf Vapes in support of my Darkside Vaper juice line that's there. As always, CEV steps up big. I do my best to follow in these vendors' shoes and support the line and support our vapors and viewers. Now, tomorrow night on True North Vaping, we have Zombill going to be coming in for an interview to tell his story, what got him into vaping, what has kept him in vaping, and basically the path that he has walked up to this point. And so that is going to be part of our show tomorrow night. And For me, kind of excited. I don't think I've ever done an interview before. I've been interviewed, but I don't think I've ever done one before.
And no, Diana, I'm close to CEV, but not close enough to be there. That's in Victoria on Vancouver Island, and I'm a little inland from there.
I can take no credit for the music tonight. This is just my throw together radio station off Pandora running tonight. Though it does seem like my idea of having my phone hooked up at the same time.
No, if you're referring to the juice, that particular one is available at Maple Leaf Vapes, tygertyger. So let me share that link.
Now,
sorry, got
guys,
confused.
anyone looking for my sugar cookie yet? It isn't available anywhere. And it may be the one that I launched my concept of concentrate with. I don't know what to do with that one yet. I need to have a talk with both Sabby or Ian, as well as my wife, and know what direction to go. I got so many people around me in this wonderful community of ours that sometimes you don't know the right step to take.
And Diana, I don't know what it is about CEV's shipping. I think they must pay off the postal workers or something, because I have had either that or he's omniscient and he ships before I order, because I've had an order go in like a Friday afternoon and it showed up for me Monday morning. So figure that out.
Now, could some of it be that because of being on the island, it's automatically airmail?
It's possible. To get to me, it stops in sort of what ends up being a major postal center, Richmond. Everything seems to get sorted and dealt with there. So it jumps from Victoria to Richmond, and then out to my neck of the woods, and it was delivered. They obviously sent it out Friday night. It made it as far as Richmond. Monday morning, it came to my city and was delivered Monday morning. It was unreal.
But I don't have complaints with any vendors anymore in Canada with the shipping. You occasionally get a package that is slow, and that's not that's not the vendor's fault. Like, I had one from Switcher, got stuck in Halifax for some stupid reason, sat there for the better part of a week without moving. But I have stuff coming from both coasts all the time, and I have to give it to Canada Post. They're bending us over and fucking us hard for the price, but the service has improved.
Yeah, I would concur.
Now, Hayes, I have had that happen once as well. I have had one package that I wasn't expecting for 5 days show up in 1 day. Well, Rick, all I have to say about your modding all weekend is don't burn yourself out, because the package from me is on the way, and I need your best work, brother.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but we gotta find a way to get those boards for the ohms checkers. That would be child's play for a guy with Ricardomon's talents and know-how, and those things are scarcer than hen's teeth.
And like
I
can
put
usually
Vapor
find
Joe.
Well, if Joe can't find it, I don't feel so bad for me not being able to find it.
This is it. I told Joe you gotta find me one of these. He couldn't do it. Yeah, Shasta, it's not hard to find them. What's hard to find is the board, because the company that does sort of make and distribute them when they're rarely in stock, Mad Vape, seems to have a lockdown on the sourcing for those boards.
Well, the board has Mad Vape's name on it. You know, that's the scary thing is it being made just for Mad Vapes?
There's talk of that. I heard a little rumor that Mad Vapes is actually run by Philippine business people, and they've got a lockdown on the boards. As soon as they come available, they get advance notice. They buy them all up. Nobody else gets any. So, and then they're releasing them. You know, they'll only do like 100 at a time. They're sort of keeping them at a premium. There's been auctions for those finished units on eBay going $70-90 for a $20 item.
And you know, here's something. I should have done it. I should have just sent Rick an ohms meter and had him work out an end for it. But when Canadian Tire has sales on, it's $10 for a $50 multimeter. Those leads could be cut and an adapter wired into them that had a positive and a male and female 510 that you could just install on your mod, install your atomizer on it, and not only can you test your atomizer for ohms, but you can test device voltage as well as drop voltage while firing it. It would be everything in one, without ever having to play with lead wires again. Well, I'd love to trademark it, except it's not my idea. You know, pretty hard to trademark something that is out there on the Ethernet somewhere, because Slinger did one during a show. He modded one to do exactly that. But anybody that's got the know-how to wire in two connectors, just go for it. But I would definitely make it pass-through style, so it's everything in one.
Oh, Diana, yeah, definitely you can get batteries and a charger from CEV.
If they're in stock. That might be the issue.
Yeah, I'm just running to check. Okay, looks like the AWs are in stock, and he's also got the Sanyo 2600 mAh, and it looks like they're in stock too. Let me just check on chargers. Here's a link for the chargers, Diana. The ones in particular that you'd be looking at, there's 3 of them on the very bottom, the Nightcore chargers. And any of those, to the best of my knowledge here, would be suitable for what you're doing. The i4 is the one I use, and it's a respectable little charger, but if you have to decide if the 4-bay or 2 is... There you go, i2.
You know, I run an i2 at work from CED store. And it does the job extremely well for me. You know, good product.
Now, I just learned something. You learn something every day, right? I've had an i4 for months, and you're telling me you've got the i2. I'm just looking at CEV's descriptions on them. You can charge a 26 series battery in that. It says it'll do the 26650. Oh, for heaven's sake. I've had a charger to do those all along and never knew it. Well, yay. Welcome to the room, Tiny Vapor.
Welcome, Tiny.
How are you doing tonight? And Diana, I'm just going to give you the direct links to the 18 series batteries as well. Save you a little bit of hunting.
I'll be right back.
Diana, grab at least a couple of batteries. You never want to be overworking your batteries where you're just draining, charging, draining, charging. This also gives you the option that when one is drained and needs to be charged, you've got a fresh charged one to put in your mod. 3 is more ideal. To have more for each mod you're using is better, but 2, you can get by with 2 to start out with.
2 is a good place to start. You know, it's the minimum. You definitely don't want to try it with only 1. I started my very first mod. I started with 1. Yeah, it only takes 1 battery to run. But you should always have the battery running it and your backup either charging or at rest, waiting to replace the one that's inside of it. Good night, Dawn.
Have a good night, Dawn.
How would I attach leads to that? I'd solder them dead center. What you do is just heat it, just a touch. Put a little bit of flux in there. Pre-solder your wires. You're going to want one wire that's going to go in between the male and the female, and then your lead wire as well. And just heat it with your soldering iron. Touch it into the flux. And then release the soldering iron, and it'll make your connection for you. Yeah, to use it as a pass through, like I was explaining before, you have to have the 2 wires. You know, your one solid up and down, and then your lead out to your multimeter. And you have to do that with both the ground and the positive. Because you don't want to be running all that current through the multimeter. Like you want it to have a straight shot, you just want to read it. Or else you're going to get a false reading. Well, if you wanted to make it really short, yeah, you could drill through the side, but I'd be using an atomizer tube. I'd be building it in like a cardo tube or an atomizer tube. And I'd be drilling my holes in the tube.
I've actually got 3 of the boards and cardomizer tubes to put them in. It's the 510 connectors I've been having trouble getting my hands on.
The males or the females?
Yes. I was just going to use basically practically a sealed one, so the same one in each end, just different ends poking inward, you know what I mean?
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to
If there's a better way, tell me.
I'm going to strip a cardomizer, and I'm going to use the 510 connector, the male connector, in the cardomizer as my male.
Oh,
and then
that's clever.
I've got the female connectors, the modders ends here, the gold ones, and that will press fit into the end of the cardo. So I can drill a hole in the center to run my leads in, set the whole thing up, solder it. It's going to be tight. Just press it. You'll have one already, have the male still in there. You'll solder it all together. Press the tube on. Have my leads done through the tube. Solder my connections on the female. Press the female into the tube. And then heat shrink the whole kit and caboodle. And tape my leads coming out of it. Done deal. There's my pass-through ohms meter that'll go right to the multimeter.
Right. Okay, that's clever.
The cost of that project is $2 for the female connector, and 1 burnt-out cardomizer. I need to get it on paper and send the paper to Rick and see if he can't produce them with just leads out, and then alligator clips on those leads out, because then those alligator clips can just be clipped onto the leads of your existing multimeter. You're not tying your multimeter up. It still can be used as a multimeter, but you just clip the leads on. Done deal. You know, clip the alligator clips onto the leads off the multimeter. It can test everything you want it to. Unclip them, and you have your multimeters back. Good evening, Wayne. Well, the thing is, it's very easy for us to sit here and discuss and talk about how it can be done and what could be done. and you know that Rick is sitting in front of his computer like, fuck off already, people. You know, I've got enough work to do. You don't need to be adding to my pile.
Thanks for joining us, Ghost World. And hello, Wayne.
Good night, Ghost. I gotta get another DNA board ordered because I feel the need for a DNA 20 coffin mod. And here's my take on it, Rick. I would build it super clean. I would build it... Where did I just put that coffin mod? I just had the fucking coffin. There we go. I'd build it exactly how you build these. I would have the circuitry, the board, the screen, all internal. The only thing that I would add to it is the side button, so that it fires just like a normal coffin, but I wouldn't have the adjustments on the outside, I wouldn't have the screen on the outside. Because it is so easy to open and have access to it, being a coffin, I would have everything protected inside of it. And then, that truly would be my work mod. And that would be fucking awesome. Thing is, we got a pretty tight little community here, and it's not just Canadians. You know, we got a group that spreads across Canada, our great neighbor to the south, the U.S. as well, and you know, Europe, India. You know,
yeah,
like we spread far.
New Zealand now.
Yeah.
We've got friends in New Zealand. It's cool because that goes back to like the VapeStrong vision, and you know, I remember, you know, putting together the mission statement with input, and it was, you know, it's Canadian, and we're proud to build it here, but anyone like-minded and who wants to come along, everyone's welcome to the party.
Well, it comes down to, you know, it's Canadian centric because we are Canadian, but vaping is international. It's bigger than any one nation. It is a world full of like-minded people. We may not be able to buy from the same vendors. We may not vape the same juices or have the same tastes. But vaping is universal, and it really does break all social barriers and political barriers and geographical barriers. It really is an amazing, you know, change to the way that each of us look at the world around us. And once you build your very first mod yourself, you will never shop the same way again. Because you walk through a store after you've built your very first mod, and well, I can mod that, and I can mod that, and I can mod that, and you know what I can do with that, and you know, there's a mod holder, and the wife is looking at me cross-eyed, honey, that's a toothbrush holder. No, that's a mod holder. It may say toothbrush holder, but that says that guy isn't a vapor. You know.
Yeah, that's what I say when I'm shopping eBay. They think this is for makeup. To me, it's the perfect mod holder.
Yep. We end up looking at the whole world around us differently. And I, for one, believe that we're going to be here to look at the world longer now that we've made this change in our own lives.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Is that stainless? What are you referring to, Max? What I was just holding up?
Spectus, I have around 100 mods. I have a very, very big selection of high-end mods, as well as a pile of entry-level stuff. I do not own or have ever touched a gooseneck. It's just one of those things. I would like to get a gooseneck, but anywhere that I shop, they just don't carry them, so I haven't ended up with one yet.
Just give me one moment there, Max. I am getting a link for you if I can find it.
The Vamo is the same size as the bigger tanks. I do not currently have a Pro tank in front of me. Give me a sec, I will find one, because I know I have one up here somewhere.
Okay, here you go, Max. This is the link for you. That stand is made of acrylic. It's sold as a cosmetic organizer, but it works perfectly for most mods. I've got a Vamo, a CBI, Provari, a Segale mod. I've got an e-Vic and a Poldiac that all sit in it. And there you go. And cheap leg borscht.
So I'll grab the Pro tank. Now, currently I would say the Pro tank is the most common non-rebuildable in use. And there is a Pro tank on top of the Vamo.
No, an iClear 30 actually is a top coil. This one's got a really dark juice in it. It's a chocolate, so it looks
size-wise, they're more or less the same. The iClear 30 is a little bit bigger around.
Size-wise,
the iClear 30 is a little bit bigger around, but it'll still line up on the mod.
There you go.
It'll actually line up better than the Pro tank on the device.
That's the iClear right next to a Pro tank.
And I do not have an iClear to show off on one. All the iClears I had, I gave away to a beginner.
Mm-hmm. Don't be iffy on the bottom coils, Diana. In all fairness, well, you know, it just like everything in vaping, it's a matter of taste and preference. But I am growing to prefer the bottom coils. Gravity is working with you. Instead of your juice having to be pulled up to those wicks, gravity is keeping the juice near those wicks where it can get it easily. Now, the iClear, I've never gotten a dry hit off of, probably because it's a monster when it comes to wicking. You've got so much wicking going on in there. But I'm really enjoying the eVod, the Pro Tank. They've got new, even the CE4 styles, the old Stardust. They look like that, but now they're a bottom coil. They're great.
So I would say of all what I'm going to call disposable tanks, and I know like these are replaceable coil tanks, they're not disposable. But I still call
something you don't rebuild.
Right. Not saying that people can't rebuild them. I just won't. I'll buy the coils. I'll change the coils. When the design changes, I'll throw away the tank and buy something else. And we both know that won't happen. Because when something new comes, Sabby's going to send it to me so I have something to talk about. But the Pro Tank to me is the best non-rebuildable I have had to date. And the Pro Tank Mini is even better. And I don't know why. I don't know why I get a better vape off the Mini than I do off the full size, but I am getting a better vape. Now, that said, it's all relative, because these will never be my all-day vape. Ever. First off, I can't push them as hard as I push a rebuildable. Secondly, I feel guilty letting a collection of $100, $200, $300 rebuildables sit and collect dust while I vape a $20 tank. It feels like cheating.
Yeah.
But where they shine...
And Diana...
Go ahead.
No, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, where the Pro Tank for me shines, or the iClear 30, or the BCC, or the EVOD, or the VV Nova, is, for me, at work. I work in a manufacturing plant. I'm a CNC programmer and operator, and my job is rather rough, and shit gets abused, and so for me, the ultimate combination is a Pravari and a Pro Tank, because they are both bloody tough. Mm-hmm. It may not be my preferred vape, but it's a good vape.
Yeah. And Diana, don't be scared of rebuilding. I was rebuilding practically, I guess, just near 2 months in, and don't be put off, don't be scared. It is not rocket science to get things working really, really well, to learn the finer points, to do some of the fancier things. Sure, there's always something new to learn, but there's nothing really complicated about rolling up mesh to make a wick and wrapping wire to make a coil. And I'm telling you right now, if I can be taught to do it, anybody can. So... And if you need help, tune in here Friday nights, Saturday nights. Corey's always here and always ready to answer questions. I'm always available to answer as much as I can. And don't let it put you off.
Yeah, I've yet to find something I can't rebuild.
A month, Pixie? I've had builds on my desk here for upwards of 3 months. I just keep torching the wick clean, cleaning the gunk off the coil, and keep going.
The last time this Cobra was rebuilt, I was still hosting a TVM.
Wow. Well, I know you joined us in Canada in December, so...
And that is my Carmelo Bacco tank, so you know that one's getting used a lot.
Yeah, you betcha. Yeah, Pixie, and especially once you get into the lower gauge wires, like using the 28 gauge, even 26 gauge, those builds are darn near indestructible. At 32 gauge, you'll pop a coil eventually, you'll have to rebuild it. But,
well, the thing is with this Cobra right now, if I was to put any other juice in it, I would have to disassemble it, boil the entire thing, and start over completely from scratch. I'd probably even have to change the O-rings, because it, from day one, has only ever had Carmelo Bacco in it. And it works. Now, that is my favorite juice that I don't make. Is Carmelo Bacco from Jugheads. It's a rich, earthy, semi-sweet tobacco. And I understand, most people call me crazy, most people don't like that juice. I just go batshit crazy for it. Well, Diana, if you're getting hooked up from CEV, let's go one step further. Throw the email address in there, please, Tiger.
You bet.
If I'm sending 4, I might as well send 5. Diana, please send me an email. Screen name, real name, shipping information, and that you are getting a DSV juice pack. Well, I know Sabby's gonna take care of her, but
Yeah.
we'll get a few more going. Running out to buy a lottery ticket. Now, Max,
I'm mostly a Jenny's girl.
And I'm a split. You know, normally while I'm sitting at my desk, I drip and I vape and I Jenny while I'm away from the desk. Now, I don't have a camera set up to be able to show my desk, but let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 Jennies set up on my desk. 9 Jennies set up on my desk right now. 10. I forgot about that hybrid. So there's 10 Jennies set up on my desk right now. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... and 14 drippers set up on my desk right now.
I'm a little behind on the drippers. I'm fundamentally lazy, so I like to fill a tank and vape on it and not think about it. But I can't fault the drippers for the quality of the flavor and vape. So more and more they are making their way into my rotation.
Yeah, a juice pack from me, Diana, will always be 12 milligrams. I'm not a vendor. I'm a juicer and a little bit of a wholesaler. What I do is I create juices, and then I partner with vendors like Maple Leaf Vapes and CEV Store, and they produce the juice. What I do is I just make a shit ton of it and give it away. Yeah, and I found that the average person, 12 is best in a giveaway. That if you're normally an 18 or 24, you can still enjoy a 12, and if you're a 6 or 8 vapor, that you can still handle 12. That's it. For myself, I vape 6 and 8. I do have my devil days where you're in 12. You know, my Carmelo Bacco is always at 12 because it's supposed to bite. It's supposed to hurt. You know, that's one juice where I want it to rip my throat out. If not, I go through too much of it. The last day that I lit a cigarette, I smoked almost 3 packs. The next day I didn't bother lighting a cigarette. I just vaped. And we haven't looked back since. And we got to be looking at 19 months now.
Yep. Welcome to the room, 101 Vape. Well, congratulations for making the switch, Diana and Max. Same here, Bastard. October 1 for me. Now, I haven't been as... I have broken down and experimentally tried an analog on a couple of occasions, just to see, and I don't know how I did that.
And enjoyed it.
Now that I have a better option. Yeah, exactly. You know, I've gotten through the cigarette because you wanted the nicotine, and it's just like, the whole time you're like, this is so horrible. And then you go home and brush your teeth 3 times and use mouthwash, and you still taste it when you get up in the morning, and it's like, ugh.
Well, December 15th, 2011 was my first day cigarette free. It was also the day we turned on my new CNC plasma cutter for the very first time.
Oh, wow. A little bit, D. Mifflin. Yes, a little bit. Not that much, but...
I do not extract, Max. I buy my flavorings. I buy... I use basically every brand of flavoring that there is out there. Some are reproductions, some are natural, some are organic extractions. And no, of the kind you're asking, no, not into that. Well, then it's bad on me. I'm sorry.
In all fairness, Max, that question comes up a lot, so forgive us for jumping to that conclusion. But no, as Corey mentioned,
it could easily be done. But for myself, I have to have it reproducible. You know, it's something that's been thought of playing with, but with coffees. I would like to do my own coffee extraction to get a really rich coffee flavorant. But
it's impossible to get it exactly the same way twice. I mean, you'll get the same flavor, but the strength might be a tiny bit different or something like that.
But on certain purchased flavorings, they're different each time, and coffee is one of them.
Yeah.
You know, coffee from batch to batch is different, and it requires a tweak sometimes. And so I found if you're doing a coffee vape, you're better off backing the coffee flavoring off and adding a cappuccino to it, or a mocha, or a Kahlua. You know, something else that can build that flavor profile. And if one flavorant, the percentage changes batch to batch, by grouping them and using small amounts of each flavoring, you can balance out that risk that a flavor is going to change on you. And the change, if there is one, will be so small, you'll never see it.
Subtle. Right. Good point.
And I might be a little anal retentive about the quality and the flavor of my juice. I want people to be happy. I always want that DSV acronym to be known for yummy, clean, crisp, beautiful juice. And I think that we've started down that path. Like, we're a long way from being where I want to be, or where me and Savvy want to be, or where me and Ian and Marie want to be. But we're working. We're working together, and we're growing, and trying to get it out there. Now, my ego really likes, going on Facebook and seeing, the feedback from, Vader Pudding, or the Blueberry Blizzard, my RY4. I love seeing that feedback, that, great vape, great juice, you gotta try this juice. And I don't post in any of those. I just sit back and smile, and this crazy little hick from the middle of nowhere actually did something right. Yes?
Diana, yes. Oh, go ahead.
The sweetener that I personally use, my blend of sweetener, is available from flavorfog.com. It is my sweetener. Any juice that I make will have this exact sweetener in it if I use a sweetener in that juice. And it's available from flavorfog.com under the DSV Elite flavorings. And that is an ethyl maltol based sweetener. As Wayne said, you can use stevia, but stevia has a flavor. It will add a flavor to a juice. Not always a bad thing. It works really well with some fruits. Like stevia will really work well with like a strawberry or a raspberry, and really make them pop. You can also use sucralose. Now this one, sucralose is one of those ones where it's up in the air. Like, we discuss it a fair amount. I do not use sucralose. Others do. To me, sucralose is too sweet. Even a touch of it does something to the juice I don't want. I don't want your teeth to feel like you've been eating candy once you're done vaping. And so, no, stevia is not sucralose. Stevia is a plant extract that is sweet.
Yeah.
Sucralose is artificial sugar. And so
stevia is a natural sweetener.
And the peanut butter and jam is sweet naturally. It's not a sweetener added to it to give it more. That's just how those flavors play together. But in blending a juice, there's so much goes into it. Like, I start with an idea of what I want the final result to be, and then, okay, what building blocks in my head. If I'm eating, Black Forest cake, what's going on in my mouth? What are the high notes? What are the low notes? What's the back note? What taste do I have after the fact? And so I base the very first mix on what the actual experience of eating that would be. And then I tweak and I tune and I play with this, and I might have to bring in a brown sugar to accentuate a chocolate. I may have to bring in a custard to accentuate the whipped icing, so on and so forth, until you build a flavor that is accurate. And some juices you get right in 3 tries. Some a year later we're still working on them because we're not happy. Others may like it. I might have missed a half dozen testers in that year period that somebody would have loved, but I didn't. So they go in the garbage and we carry on. I've actually had one tobacco that, when I was finally happy with it, I was back to the very first recipe I wrote out. And so juice is just, it's different, and it absorbs way too much of your time. Playing with it and seeing what you can do, and let's face it, there's some really, really great juicers out there, both in Canada and the US. And to in your own head having to compete with the likes of Style and Puffer, Joe Castro, Upstomp, the Hooligans, and these are friends. These are all friends of mine, and they're some of the best juicers I have ever tried. Gourmet right across the board. And you never want, I never want to be thought of at a lower class than that. And that's just my ego. My ego needs to be stroked every once in a while, and all is good. All of that said, never be discouraged to try DIY, ever. I started down the path by mixing juices together, China juices together, that I hated, to try to get something that was vaporable, something that was too strong tobacco with something that was too sweet. Blend them together and try to get it all together. And Max, it all depends on the size of the package. Anywhere from $3.50 to $20.
Oh yeah, I would encourage you to do that, Diana. And you're in Canada, Diana? Because Flavor Fog, the link I gave you earlier, is pretty much Canada's one-stop DIY shop. Everything you could possibly need he's got, and very competitive pricing. And the best part for a new DIYer is the recipe section. All recipes from DSV, so you know they're going to be good. Pick something that suits your flavor profile. You can get all the flavors you need in a kit. How easy is that? So, get a couple of extras, get some other flavors that appeal to you, do some experimentation, but if you start with a kit, you know that you're going to get a good juice to start with and go from there. I will grab you the link for the recipe kits. There you go.
And, you know, have fun with it. You know, get yourself some syringes with blunt needles. Get yourself some rubber gloves, a couple of plastic beakers, some empty bottles, a few flavorants, some Nick, some PG, some VG, and just have at it. Start with a proven recipe, one off the site or one off the DIY group on Facebook or off the DIY section in ECF. You know, ask around on Whacked Out. You know, there's recipes out there, and it's not that you have to follow someone else's, but it gives you a starting point at where something mixes at. And there are very set rules about where certain flavorings mix best at, and you don't want to make the mistake of trying strawberry at 20%, because you're going to be totally turned off instantly, because all you're going to taste is burnt plastic. It's one of those flavorings. If you're going to go above 9%, do so already warned that it's a bad idea. You know, and other things like that. Like some flavorings, let's say blueberry, is very weak. As a flavoring, it's very weak. Even though it smells extremely strong, it is a very weak flavoring. Whereas cherry doesn't smell any stronger than blueberry, but it's 20 times stronger. Raspberry is another one that's crazy strong. Whereas like pomegranate or peach is kind of in the middle of the road for strength. And this is all stuff you'll learn as you travel down the DIY path. And don't be scared to suck it up and throw a bottle of juice in the garbage. If it's bad, throw it out. The shit's cheap. Toss it. Carry on. Don't think that just because you mixed it, you're honor bound to vape it. I made that mistake. You throw that shit in the garbage. If it's bad, you throw it in the garbage. If it is bad day one, if you mix it, shake it up, try it, and it is bad, it's going to be bad after it steeps.
Diana, sometimes adding more just makes it worse. There are certain mistakes you can fix with menthol, but menthol's only going to cover so much. It's kind of like putting ketchup on bad food.
Yeah, you do have a month steeping time to consider. You know, juice is going to change for about a month. And you are right. You want to make sure you are buying food flavorants, not perfume, scents. That's why you want to buy from places like DIY Flavor Shack, or flavorfog.com, like places that specialize in DIY. Everything they carry is for our purpose. Hot water. I'll clean those tanks underneath a running tap of hot water, and then shake the hell out of them, and then leave them upside down on a paper towel to drain and dry out. I let them sit for 24 hours before I try putting Well, Perfumer's Apprentice, Flavor Apprentice, same company, owned by the same woman. different sides of the same website. And I will agree with you. Green tea from there is bloody fucking strong. So is the black tea. Like, ridiculous strong. Yeah, like that. I found it has to sit for 24 hours uncapped to dry out, and I do it with it upside down so that every little bit of water that's in there that can drip out will. And you know, one day I am going to have something up here a lot along the same lines as the Legal Vape 4000. I think we're going to call it the Tard Vape 1. But we'll make some 1 milligram juice and see if I can nick myself out on it. And you never have to worry about there being video. The really dumb stuff I do is done during a show, and it is always recorded. Oh, I remember those days, Diana. I remember being new and watching review after review after review after review and taking notes and writing my shopping list and then rewriting my shopping list and then going to find vendors and writing out, URLs and prices and shipping costs and building these extensive, shopping carts on paper. Of where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do, that was when vaping was still cheap. And then we kind of hit the, you know what, I'm tired of shopping that way, now I'm gonna shop with my Visa. And I just shop.
Well, all of our programs are recorded. It's kind of a new project. We've been building a channel for archives at VapeStrong YouTube. Let me grab the link for that for you. There we go. That's us on YouTube, and we're endeavoring to have every show up there. So if you've missed something, you can see it there. I don't do anything on my own. Just what we do here on VapeStrong.
And the thing is, like, you get to the place I am, no one vendor could ever have everything I want in one place. It would be physically impossible.
Yeah.
Though I do try to ensure that my favorite vendors have what I need stocked. So, Sabby and Jason from ESV and Switcher, they do get those Skype messages that, this is a really good idea. You send them a link and this is a really good idea. Well, you're very welcome, Max.
Yeah. Glad you're here. Come back tomorrow for True North Vaping for another dose. And stay for done deal. True North starts at 7 Pacific.
And tomorrow will be the last edition of True North Vaping. Starting the first show in September in True North's time slot is going to be a round table discussion show called Vape Night in Canada. It is going to be myself and Kathy and Zychick and Smoke Eater and Kriegs, live review, vendor spotlights, and just general Canadiana vaping. Totally vaping from the Canadian perspective. What's new, what's hot, where to get it. Oh no, Tiger's Friday nights. Don't ever get me wrong. Friday night won't change till Tiger tells me she never wants to do a show with me again. We're just changing up Saturday
don't
night.
hold your breath.
We're changing up Saturday night, and we're doing something new and something we're excited about, and just trying something different. Bringing in some new people, it lightens the load. It spreads the workload in between 5 instead of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it lets us do something that we do in the Hangouts. We sit together, we chat, we shoot the shit, we have fun, we laugh till we cry. And we talk vape. And that's what we want to do. We want to bring that to the viewers. Take care, Max.
Yeah, have a good night. Hope to see you back.
We want to bring the fun that we have as a group to everybody. And at the same time, promote the vendors that are right here in Canada. Talk about the product that's coming in, what's new, what's hot, what's worth spending the money on. What's out there in the juice world, what's coming in the rebuildables. What are the modders doing? What's new from Rick and Stash and our good buddy Vash. Dan, I'm gonna have to open that. Give me a second. I don't have that email open during a show. But I'm opening it right now.
And when Vape Night in Canada wraps up at 10 p.m. Pacific, stay tuned, because Vapor Joe and I are back for 90 minutes of deals and steals in vaping. For those of you unaware, we have a Facebook group for VapeCan, and I have it here somewhere. There we go.
And yes, I do have
group.
The email address. I do have the email. Oh, when I opened that email address, it asked me to review my recovery settings. And I noticed, it hasn't asked me to do this since my new cell phone, so I changed the cell phone number. I just put the wrong cell phone number in as my contact number. Oops. I think I'm gonna have to fix that after the show. Yeah, I do. Do you need me to send more out, Sabby? Okay. I'm gonna need you to Skype me the new address for the store. I don't have the new address. Well, I gotta change the number. Okay, saved, fixed. My normal computer problem avoided. They shouldn't let a run-in dummy this close to a computer. There should be laws or something.
Well, maybe you're right about a redneck dummy, but you're okay.
I know how to broadcast. I know how to make juice. I know how to rebuild anything that's ever been built. But as for this whole computer thing, like, it gets over my head rather quickly. I do run into the occasional vapor. I also run into a pile of people that are very interested in the mod I'm carrying. Whether it be a Poldiac or a Vamo or whatever. Because they vape a 510 Slim or they vape a disposable or an Ego. They've never seen anything this big before. They've never seen the clouds that I produce. And then they got to ask questions. And I used to carry a Ziploc bag with a few new drip tips in it in my pocket. So when people ask questions, you could just put a brand new drip tip on it and let them try it. I vape so low res that the average person could not take a single pull on any one of my devices. Your throat has to get used to this.
This is not for the faint of heart. Nice. Well done, Diana.
I used to love on the Facebook groups when they wanted to see you, the pictures, the selfies of you blowing a cloud. And you got to see, vape face. Everybody's got this nice little cloud in front of them. I post a picture and it's just fucking cloud. You wipe the camera out. And okay, guy cheats a little bit. You zoom it in a little closer than normal and make sure that you don't have the air conditioner on so there's no fan pushing against you. Like, right now, I've got a nice solid side draft from the air conditioner. With the right atomizer and the right juice, you can really produce a cloud.
Not sure what you mean, Vapors Break.
Living hilltop houses, driving 15 cars.
Oh.
And this is the reason why a person, especially once you start hosting, you have to get your vape down to that 6 or 8 range. Because I stopped, I talked about blowing clouds. Now, this little voice in my head is telling me you're not going to be happy unless you keep blowing clouds. So last week I was talking about I had bought an Icon V1.1 from AJ at VapeScape, and this is an old school mechanical. It's a 14500 full mechanical stainless steel mod, but it's very much in the old school setup. And it had a collar on it that a cardo or an atomizer screws down through, so nothing bigger than a 510 cardo would go on this thing. And that's kind of cool. It was the right price. I never owned one before. I like it. Like, it's just stupid little tiny. But really, a disposable atomizer or a cardo? I don't fucking think so. That shit just ain't happening. It might work for other people, but I'm not other people. And so I took it to work and loaded it in the lathe. And I cut it down. I cut that collar right off of it. And so now, 3 tanks down and an atomizer. Fucking dominoes. You touch one, they all go.
Yep.
But lots of people here are going to have an idea of what the iGo S is. The iGo S is a little atomizer. So, to give you an idea of the size of this mod, that's an iGo S on this little mod. The Foggy is safe, but it was a full-size did, a short did, a Pro Tank, and a Pro Tank Mini that went down.
And to answer your question, Kingpin, absolutely closing off the fill hole changes the taste. When I first started building the Jennies, I was always putting that fill screw back in. For starters, it's a pain in the butt, because when you're filling often, you're always pulling it out and putting it back in. And Corey said, leave it out. I never put them in. And it didn't totally make sense to me until it was explained that actually helps with the juice feed. With it in, it creates more of a vacuum in your tank, and juice wicks slower. Leave it out, you'll find your wicking is better, your flavor is better, everything's better. It was kind of broken logic on my part that, I don't want juice spilling. Well, a Jenny's going to leak juice if it's on its side. You don't leave those puppies on their side, so you don't need it in. No, you're not. You're not going crazy here.
No, you just plateaued, brother. There's a certain level of crazy that we achieve, and we just kind of stay there. We occasionally spike up or spike down, but it's pretty much a plateau of not quite totally fucked, but close to it.
I'm not offhand aware of where to get silicone tips. I'm just checking a couple places because I know I've seen them somewhere.
Good night, Pixie.
Have a good night, Pixie. Okay, well, they do have... The only silicone I've been able to find just really, really quick are the bunnies. Do you mind bunnies, Style and Puffer? Oh, thanks, Mr. White Cloud.
But Kingpin was making fun of me when I bought a 14500 mod. Do you see the clouds, brother? It's definitely not a Poldiac. It's not a Chi-Yu. It's not a Bear Brass. But it is doing pretty good with the little IGOS on it.
Oh, Aspectus. That is a lot of wraps on there. And so neat and tidy. Looks like a good job. What does that come in at?
Oh, the bunny tips are just so fucking wrong.
Oh, Corey. Don't be mad if Style and Puffer orders them all and you don't get one. I'll send you mine.
No, you keep your drip tips. I'm a drip tip snob. You know, I like my custom cut stainless ones. I like my 24 karat gold ones. This is one of my favorites. This is a Kerfanis drip tip. I've got great ones from Recidivus. I've got great ones from Vash. This is called the SR Destroyer. It's a twin 26700 variable voltage mod. This is number 1 of 10 in the world. It is a variable voltage, but it can handle 35 watts total output. And it ranges from 3 volts all the way up to 7.8 volts.
Diana, if you're getting the loud popping and juice splashing, it sounds like something's got too much juice on the coil. And when you say Addy, I'm not sure what you're using. Is that like a little dripping Addy? If that's the case, drip 1 drip less when you're adding.
And some tanks are loud. I've had which one was it? Was my last batch of CE4s I bought? They were gurgly. They never leaked. but they were almost from the first time you filled them, it was gurgly. You grab this one first thing in the morning and take a couple good pulls, and it will make hair grow in the back of your throat. So let's put this thing to perspective for people. What do I have here that people are going to recognize? I don't have a whole lot that's standard or normal sitting on my desk. Let's grab an 18650 battery. Everybody knows the size of an 18650 battery. I don't have any egos left, Wayne. They're all gone. I gave them all away today. So there's an 18650 battery. There's the destroyer. There's a full-size VAMO with a Pro tank on it. You know, it's not that this thing's super long. You know, the VAMO looks fairly good size beside it. Till we do this. Oop. Make sure that the air hole isn't pointed down. Yeah, this right here is a VAMO, and no, it's not heavier than a 134. 134 is pretty solid from what I've been told so far. VAMO is solid, you know, don't get me wrong, it's got some weight to it. Oh no, this is a destroyer, this is heavy. If this is the only thing I vape, I'll get about 3 days on a set of batteries. But that's not really fair to say either, because most people are going to say that a 18650 will last them most of a day. Lots of people will say an 18650 lasts them the day. And on an average day, I'm going to go through 12 18650s. So... But I only vape the top off them. You know, I only vape them to 3.8 or 3.9, and I change them out. Like, I keep a battery charger running at all times on my desk because I just switch out batteries. Now, if I'm running, like, say, a Pravari, and I don't push a Pravari all that hard because I just run a Pro tank on it, I get the better part of a shift off of an 18500 because I'm not abusing the battery. Whereas if I'm vaping a mechanical, I'm abusing the fuck out of the battery, and I don't get a whole lot before it needs to be changed. Now the batteries this thing takes, I'll show you one of them. And I'll do it in reference to an 18650. So Here's an 18650. Now this thing runs a 26700 Moly cell hybrid battery. This battery is able to do 40 amps continuous output. Now, fucking green screen. But so, you know, it's a little bit longer, not much. But once again, it is substantially bigger around. You know, it's, you know, there's a substantial size difference. Oh, I would say when it comes to batteries, bigger always means better. They should be. Here's when it comes to batteries, if it says AW on it, you're guaranteed it's good. If it says Moly cell, you're guaranteed it's good. If it says you know, eFest, you're guaranteed it's good. Ultrafire and Trustfire make so many different bloody batteries, we never really know exactly what we're dealing with. They just produce too many for too many different purposes. They may be absolutely perfectly fine. They may not be. Now I've got Ultrafires for tactical flashlights that are out of this world in a flashlight, but they don't have the amp hours needed to run them on. I have other Ultrafires that do not last worth shit in my flashlights, but are fairly decent in a variable power device. But AW, eFest, Panasonic, that is the way to go, and AW is the standard that all batteries are measured from. In our industry, AW is the standard. And for what a battery costs, better safe than sorry. Now, that said, a VAMO has internal protections in it. It's not like dealing with a mechanical mod. It has a hot spring. It has low voltage protection. You know, you can't vape a battery down too low. It'll shut itself off. That said, they have a voltmeter built into them. You should not vape a lithium-ion battery below 3.4 volts. You know, they're safe to just below 3. Your machine, your mod should cut out at 3.3 or 3.2. But I would say the minimum that a person, if you're watching your voltage, the minimum a person should let a battery go down to is 3.4. And myself personally, I change batteries out at in between 3.9 and 3.7, dependent on device. The only one I let go lower is the Pravari. I change one at 3.5. Because that's where my switch starts flashing. At 3.5, my switch starts flashing. It tells me my battery's low. And with that, we've been on for a little more than 3 hours now. So we're gonna say goodnight. Yeah, the protecteds do turn off when they go to 3 volts. Go ahead, Tiger.
Oh, no, no problem. I was just going to say be sure to tune in tomorrow, same place, 7 p.m. for the last episode of True North Vaping in the True North. And, of course, next week, the premiere of Vape Night in Canada at 10 p.m. Pacific. Done deal with Vapor Joe and myself. And thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Thank you, one and all. See you on the flip side. Vape on and vape strong.